Hello and welcome to Shine. I'm your host Sonja Shin. This is a series of videos that we hope will inspire and empower you to live the life you want. Today I'm joined by Krista Holt-Shippey, who is a therapist. Thanks so much for joining me.
Happy to be here.
So in a previous video we did a visualization that was like a general how to create the life you want. And today we're going to get focused in on love and relationships. So can you tell us a bit first about what this particular visualization, what you're going to do?
Absolutely. In this visualization, we are going to be focusing primarily on being able to remind oneself about what's lovable about the self, being able to kind of accept all the parts of yourself. And I think only when we can do that and fully accept who we are, can we draw into our lives somebody who will do the same.
Okay. And we've talked a little bit about this before, but why is visualization important and powerful?
Yeah, it's very powerful because I think it really helps to make more concrete the things we feel and think about ourselves. So if we are often feeling down about ourselves, if we feel negative, if we feel unloved, if we feel hopeless about love, all those things, if we feel unworthy, those thoughts will create feeling states that stay with us. And in terms of the way we live our lives, if we're going around the world putting that out there, that this is how we really feel about ourselves, then you can pretty much suspect that that's what you're going to draw back into yourself. You know, you're probably not, if you're feeling that bad about yourself, you're probably not going to attract somebody who can see the beauty in you, because all you're projecting outward is the negative. So it's incredibly vital to be able to sort of get into the visualization. The visualization allows you to more concretely feel those great things about yourself, to accept yourself, to love yourself. It's a very simple but profound way to sort of encapsulate good feelings about yourself. And when you can do that then, and you carry that forward, and the more you do it, the more you're going to live a life in which you believe it and you attract that back into yourself.
Yeah. And there's a lot of talk about how like attracts like. So it seems like if you want to, get somebody who, feels good about themselves and is whole and, complete, then you really need to be focusing on that on yourself.
Absolutely.
And then also, what about just, the way we feel too? It seems like what we feel is going to shape our actions, and then we start getting that self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yes, absolutely. I think that exactly just as you said it, everything we feel and we put out into the world is often what we will bring back in. I mean, think about that any day you wake up and you start the day in a chaotic mess, and you forget your keys, you can't find anything, and you're frustrated, you're running late, maybe you feel sick. And you start your day that way, you go out into the world with this negative attitude, and often you'll find that it just gets validated over and over through the day, versus the days when you just kind of spring out of bed and you feel great, and you already start that day with this like happy attitude, and you're feeling wonderful. And when you carry that into your life, it seems like things just go easier.
Sure. Wonderful. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's get started.
All right. So I want you to begin by getting yourself in a comfortable place, and so it could be just find a comfy seat or lie down somewhere and take some moments just to kind of get relaxed. You can close your eyes when you're ready, and I want you, as you take a deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, I want you to just allow yourself to sink deeper and deeper into relaxation. With every breath in, every breath out, feel the weight of your body sinking more and more into the furniture beneath you. Just allow yourself to completely relax. Let go of the tension of the day. And as you're ready, there with your eyes closed, I want you to begin to imagine yourself walking down a path. It's a wooded path. You're in a forest. But it's not scary, it's just calm and peaceful. And you can see that it's like dusk. The sun has really started to go down. The sky is a beautiful shade of pink fading into lavender, fading into a dark starry sky. But there's a great feeling of peace as you walk down your path. and calm. And you start to make your way to a clearing in the woods there. The clearing's big enough that you can actually see a bright starry sky above you. And you notice that there's a pool there. It's actually, as you get closer, you see that it's a warm spring. It's bubbling up water, and it's inviting you to come in. You feel a little self-conscious, thinking, in this moment here, should I just go in? What do I do? Is this scary? But you realize, no, it's safe. So you allow yourself just to kind of settle in there. You take a step in and you see that it's not very deep. It's just deep enough that when you're sitting, it covers you completely, except for your head. And it warms your body. It feels amazingly soothing. You can see that this is exactly where you're supposed to be right now, here in this spring, this beautiful environment. It gives you this moment to be completely alone with yourself, which you find in your life is hard to get, hard to find. So at first it's a little unsettling. You haven't been this alone with yourself in a very long time. But you start to really feel good about it. And as you're there in this spring, you start to reflect on all the things about yourself that you become troubled by, the things that you really have a hard time accepting, the things that you really don't care too much about yourself. And as you're reflecting on those things, you begin to see that as much as you have those qualities, you have so much that's good about you. And sometimes it might be hard for you to remember that. But as you take a moment here, as you're reflecting, you're able to start to think about all the great things people have said to you, all the compliments you've received, all the things that you have done in your life that make you feel good about you. And all those little moments start to add up. And you can see that in your life, you've actually received far more love than you have any other thing. More love than you have anger, disapproval, or rejection. And you start to recognize that all that encompasses you, all that you are made of, it's like little bits of energy. Sometimes they're bad pieces, but most of all, there are good things too. And often they're one and the same. The things we judge bad about ourselves are often just an extreme version of the things that we love about ourselves. That it's all one and the same. And all these little pieces of ourselves make up the wholeness of who we are, which is very timeless and eternal. And although we do evolve and we do shift and we do change, at our core, at the essence of who we are, we remain the same. We only need to discover it, uncover it. And as you're there in that spring with all this water, this beautiful, glorious water bubbling around you, you start to feel cleansed. You look up at the stars and you realize that there's a grander vision for you. There's millions of twinkling stars. Shine all this light reflected downward into this pool of water that surrounds you. And there are hundreds, thousands, millions of little glimmers of light. And you realize that that's what you are. It's all of the pieces of you reflected back at you. All of your beauty, all of your wonder. These are all reflections of who you are. All the love that you hold. And you take a moment, allowing yourself to soak in all these reflections, these beautiful, glorious reflections of yourself. Through them, you see your true beauty, your value, your worth, how lucky you are to be you. You right now feel so lucky to be you. You don't want to be anyone else. You don't need to be anyone else. You're you. That's a very fortunate thing. And you can feel that right now. How tremendous it is, that truth. That you don't need anything else right now. You only need you. That's all you ever need. And you hold that. You hold that in, that moment of realization. Fully accepting yourself and all your complexity and all your beauty. And as you're ready, you start to rise up out of the water. You feel refreshed, renewed. You feel whole and at peace. And you start to sense a presence coming towards you. You turn around and you see there that this person approaching you is the one you've been waiting for. And because of the quality of the light here at this time of night, you can make out some details. You may not see everything about this person, but you don't need to see everything because you can feel it. You have such a sense of safety and peace and joy as they approach you. And as they come towards you with extended arms, you do the same. You open yourself up to receive them. You're so aware of their beauty and they're aware of yours. You see as they start to embrace you that they are holding all of who you are, every piece. The bad and the good, the neutral, every piece. All the shifting, all the changing, all that you were, all that you are, all that you're going to become. They accept it all. And you, they. And as you stand there in that embrace, you've never felt safer. You've never felt more loved. But you are able to recognize that this is about you loving you enough to allow yourself to be loved on this level. Very deeply. And although it's a vulnerable thing to allow yourself to do, you see that you're ready for it. You're not scared. You're ready to show all of who you are to this person. And they love you for it. They accept all of it. And you can just feel the energy in your body with this skin-to-skin contact, the way that your entire being just lights up. And you know that it's incredible because they're feeling the same way. That this contact between you is unlike anything you've ever felt. But you know it's in a beautiful, pure, profound way. It's not just that lustful way that maybe you felt before. This goes so much deeper, which makes it more real. You know it's not fleeting. And you begin to see yourselves pulling back. You grab one another's hands. And you begin to walk back down the path, moving into the future together, going wherever you go. You have such a peace in knowing that this is yours. It's in you now. That as you grow to love yourself, as you grow to accept yourself, forgive yourself, love even the pieces that sometimes you don't care for, learn to care for them all, that you will attract this other person into your life who can see the value in you, that loves you for exactly who you are, and that you'll be capable of reciprocating that back to them, which is what makes it all the more profound. Because as you accept yourself, you can accept another for all that they are. So take one last moment just to enjoy this feeling of peace, of comfort, of profound love. Enjoying this beautiful moment. And allow yourself to just continue to enjoy that vision of you and your beloved walking down that path, hand in hand. And as you're ready, focus once more on your breath. Take a deep breath in and out. Get back into your body. And you can, when you're ready, open your eyes and come back into the room.
That was wonderful. You know, I've read a lot of different books about, like meeting your soulmate and manifesting your soulmate. And a lot of them, they talk about visualizing and getting into that feeling. But I found it to be extremely challenging because, it's like, get into the feeling of it, but don't picture anybody's face or, don't get specific. And that was like the first time I think I've been able to, I know that I've been able to just like do it and then, get into the feeling of it. Now, Krista is a therapist and has a YouTube channel as well. So first off, could you just tell everybody a little bit about what your therapy practice is and what you have on your YouTube channel?
Sure. So in my private practice, I primarily, although I see a wide range of people, I specialize primarily in relationships and sexuality. And so that's definitely what I have the biggest passion for, those areas of our lives. And so if you were to see my channel, you would notice that I have some basic skills that people can use, like mindfulness and things like that. But I've also tailored a lot of it towards that area of sexuality and relationships.
Yeah, and I had a radio show before, and we did a sex talk on once a week, and Krista has great advice that way. So definitely a cool thing to check out. So I'll have links to her YouTube channel And thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining me for this edition of Shine. I'm Sonja Shin. Until next time, be well and shine.